While the Western Cape is experiencing a bumper holiday season as tens of thousands of tourists have streamed into the province. Tourists flew in, sailed in, drove in from all over the country and the world to enjoy their holidays here.
As a result, Cape Town experienced a faster than expected recovery in tourism post the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, to discuss this further, we are joined by Cape Town Economic Growth MMC, James Voss. A very good morning to you, MMC. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Does what has been happening in Durban in terms of the destruction of infrastructure, the sewage spillage, which I think even the Western Cape has started to experience that as well, but because it started in Durban and in KwaZulu-Natal, did that somewhat help in the attraction or the diverting of tourism to Cape Town? Or you could really confidently just say, we are a great province?
Well, Cape Town has so much to offer, from culture to cuisine and community. Now, this impressive rebound in tourism can be attributed to the city's tourism-back strategy. So our tourism bounce-back strategy was developed specifically to stimulate supply and demand from specific source markets. Overseeing the formulation and subsequent implementation of this strategy involved weeks and long days of work with industry bodies and operators that have paid off this holiday period. And so the official figures show significant recovery and in some cases surpass pre-COVID numbers. Now, as you can see, I'm all smiles because international passenger recovery is 94%.
Sure.
My team and I are committed to growing these numbers even further by connecting Cape Town to more destinations around the world.
Yeah. MMC, what do you think that the city of Cape Town is actually doing that other provinces can learn from? It pains, to be honest with you, because we've got 9 provinces in this country. We've got one country, 9 provinces. And within the 9 provinces, Cape Town, and kudos to the city of Cape Town for being able to take advantage of the market. But the city of Cape Town lies ahead of other provinces. And I just wonder, what is it that you guys are doing that really can be extended over other provinces so that we can get equal beneficiation where tourism is concerned?
I just want to say I fully agree with you because tourism is one of those industries that have reach across multiple other sectors: restaurants, entertainment, places of accommodation, transport, retail. And so really tourism should be something that the entire country should be benefiting from. So if it's Cape Town, Mpumalanga, Limpopo, KwaZulu-Natal, all provinces and all places should be benefiting. So as a city government, we are deeply passionate about tourism because of its reach across all of these industries and because of its immense value in its own right, especially in a city like ours, which has always been a travel hotspot. Now, our mission is to help secure a tourism-related job in every household in Cape Town. And there are 3 critical factors for this: more flights, more cruise ships, and more events. So it gives me great joy to see that we're landing more planes and events and docking more ships. And we'll be pushing for even more. But your question about what can we do in other parts of the country and even in our own destination, you need to focus on tourism businesses in terms of enterprise development, making sure that those businesses are tourism ready, deploying more safety resources, because a place must be a great place to live in order for it to be a great place to visit. So it's important that you focus on the basics: cleaning, maintenance, infrastructure, safety, so that the place is attractive for visitors and investors, and you need to do it continuously so that over time you can build tourism businesses from the ground up that are ready to welcome visitors and locals and that are sustainable, resilient, because there'll be many more shocks and trends coming our way. COVID-19 certainly was a big shock to the system. I think about the drought a few years ago. Those things are important shocks because it prepares you for what's to come. And when the trends come, you need to follow those trends and even in your own case, become a trend setter. So I'm really happy to report that these terrific tourism numbers comes as a result of hard work, clever campaigns backed up with conversion. So it's not just simply marketing the mountain, the beaches, the people, the culture. Every campaign is backed up with conversion so that there are real bookings coming out of those campaigns, because it's those bookings that benefit business, and that's where the job creation potential lies. And secondly, city-to-city agreements. our cities and our country consists of so many people and places, diverse, and that's a fantastic value proposition, so that we can reach out to more other cities and form partnerships so that we can coexist, so that there's a supply and demand continuously coming. And if you look at the forward bookings, because that's the thing that we need to keep on tracking, from now until March next year, we have 191 flights per week international that will be landing in Cape Town. That adds about 1.6 million two-way additional seats into our city, generating almost 8 billion rand in tourism spend. So it's city-to-city agreements, focusing on your value proposition, getting the basics right and maintaining it, and making sure that you work with tourism businesses. And that's another important part of our plan, because if you look at the halal tourism market, we've placed a particular focus on attracting the Muslim travel market, because the halal travel sector's contribution to the global economy is massive, and there's room for further growth, particularly for South Africa, which is already one of the top 5 destinations for international Muslim travelers. And that's why Cape Town Tourism has partnered with Crescent Rating Authority to help our destination cater for those specific needs of Muslim travelers. So you need to pay attention to the detail. You need to get out there, market your city, backed up with conversion, and get those flights coming in. And at the same time, looking at Africa as a big possibility. So the city of Cape Town, with our air access partners, are looking at South America, Africa, more into Europe, North America, to get more of these direct flights, because that's where the volume and the value lies. And that's where businesses gets to benefit.
MMC, something else that you are seemingly somewhat, although it's probably taking a bit of time, that you're getting right is the management of your beaches. Hout Bay Beach has recently been reopened, water samples taken, of course, and they are indicating, the minimum level of requirement, at least, has been achieved. Now, of course, there was a health warning signage as well that is subsequently going to be removed because of this. Speak to us about that, and just, I suppose, if you can maybe just elaborate on the efforts that are being, provided for just the management of other beaches that have experienced sewage spills, and what exactly is happening with those.
Yeah, so obviously load shedding has had a major impact on our city infrastructure, and we can see now the consequence of that. It's had a major impact on various other industries and the economy at large. And we've also seen many larger businesses in tourism industries that are able to mitigate the effects of power outages through renewable energy solutions for the use of generators. But it's sadly smaller businesses and tourism operators who are less able to invest in such costly systems and are forced to adjust their operations. And so from my daily engagements with businesses in factories and boardrooms, I've seen how their production lines are affected, and there have been tough conversations around how they cope. Similarly for the city government, in terms of how our infrastructure responds now to these prolonged load shedding and an imminent stage 8, So these things have really forced the city and businesses to divert budget from things like hiring more staff to taking measures to keep the lights on. Now, thankfully, the city of Cape Town is currently able to limit load shedding in its supply areas by building up reserves. Much work is also underway, and it pertains to the city's own build, small-scale embedded generation. We also have a tender out to look at the establishment of a solar plant so that we can start generating our own electricity. But in terms of the beaches, that is one of our big draw cards, and of course it's had a major impact. And so there's a lot of stock taking happening so that we can learn lessons. Well,
MMC, I'm definitely sure that, as the year progresses, I'm sure we'll be able to touch base time and time again to be able just to shed some light in terms of how we're actually succeeding, being able to grow the sector. I think that more than anything else, we don't congratulate officials when they do a job well done. So well done to you. You have to pause it there for now. But MMC of Economic Growth, James Force, joining us from the city of Cape Town.